2024年 OpenAI 一个研究员离职，离职文件里有2条以后不准批评公司，而且不准告诉任何人有这条，不签就拿不走价值200万美元的股票。他叫 Kokotajlo， 在 OpenAI 的工作是预测 AI 接下来几年会变成什么样。今年7月，他上了 The Diary of a CEO 主持人，从这200万问起。
You lost $2 million for not signing an anti-disparagement clause, which would mean you couldn't criticize the company.
Yes. Well, so I got to keep the money.
Oh, you got to keep the money.
So what happened was, after I had left, said my goodbyes, etc., I got the exit paperwork, and it included this clause that said you basically have to agree not to criticize the company again, and also a clause saying you can't tell anyone about this. And so I thought that was kind of rich coming from a nonprofit that's supposed to be, for the benefit of all humanity. So I didn't sign it. And if you don't sign, you don't get to keep your equity. And my wife and I, were upset about this. We talked about it for like a month or two, consulted some lawyers, and then ultimately decided to just refuse to sign.
Which would mean you would have lost $2 million.
That's right. Which was like 80% of our net worth at the time.
他没签。接下来发生的事，连 OpenAI 自己都没料到。
It didn't go the way we expected. It blew up basically on the internet. Like when people heard that we had done this and that we had said no, it became like this huge scandal. Employees at the company started like asking questions in Slack and like asking leadership, like, wait, what? Like, why are you going to take away our equity? What is this? Because a lot of people hadn't really noticed this before. It had been whispered about, but it hadn't been sort of like a thing that most employees knew about. And so they backtracked and they said, never mind. We'll change the paperwork. You can keep the equity. It's fine.
And Sam Altman came out and said he was embarrassed that he didn't realize this was
he had no idea, apparently.
You don't believe him?
No. I think he probably knew. And if he didn't know, then people close to him probably did, such as his head lawyer.
Why did you decide not to take the $2 million?
I mean,
most people would have, I think.
It's true. Most people would have, and most people did. And, money is nice, but like, it's not the only thing, Sometimes it's good to take a stand on principle.
为什么一群领着全世界最高薪水的人要把自己逼成这样？他说，答案写在一场官司公开出来的信里，是 OpenAI 创办人自己写的。
Founders of OpenAI were talking back in like 2017 about how the reason why we made OpenAI was because we were worried that Demis Hassabis at Google was going to become dictator with AGI. Even back then, this is obviously about more than just money. Like these powerful CEOs are literally afraid that if the other guy gets there first, he might become dictator. And they don't trust each other. And so that's why they are racing as hard as they can so that they're the ones who get there first.
那他自己的预测是什么时候？主持人直接问。
So you believe it's coming in a few years?
Yes.
How could you be so sure?
I spend a lot of time trying to forecast this sort of thing. My sort of median estimate, 50% chance, is currently in 2029. Maybe it'll slip to 2028. It's possible that it'll take significantly longer, like maybe 10 years or something like that. But, for reasons I'm happy to get into, seems to me like it's probably happening by the end of the decade.
时间讲完，接着是几率。这个数字他在很多场合都讲过，每次都被追问。
Are you optimistic about the future or pessimistic? Are we heading to a bad place if things don't change, based on everything that you know?
I think we are headed to a bad place if things don't change. I'm not confident in that. I would say something like 70%. It's very, very hard to predict, of course. But yeah, it seems like the current default path is heading towards a very, very scary place. I wouldn't say human extinction exactly. I would say something like 70% chance that this goes horribly wrong like human extinction. But that's just one of several possibilities. But yeah, basically. Like, for example, possibly the AIs take over and then don't actually kill everyone. Maybe they do something else. Like just because they've taken over doesn't mean they're definitely going to kill us, right? They might, but they could do something else. So,
这个数字不只是讲给观众听的。他说，他自己的人生决定也跟着改了。
And so I basically told my wife, like, let's not have any more kids. It's too uncertain, But that turned out to be really hard because, especially for my wife, like we already had one kid and like no siblings. So eventually I sort of gave in and was like, okay, well, you know what? We already have one. It's going to be all right. Like maybe the future will be good. And even if it's not, like, well, we're all in the same boat together. Like overall, I don't think that we're like definitely doomed, Like I said 70%, but like I could see it working out pretty well as well.
他放弃200万美元，换回说话的权利，用这个权利说出来的第一个数字是7成会出事。说到最后，他补了一句，也可能很顺利，200万换来的，原来是可以公开说我不确定。